Guy, you better have your long johns on, man. We got a storm coming our way. As we say, there's some weather coming.
The hawk is flying, as they say. I love that first storm. Well, first of all,
what does that mean? Hold on, what does that mean?
That's a saying. The hawk is flying. It means it's cold. Look it
up.
Getting
out of here, like the hawk knows best.
I'm just telling you, the folks on the Twitterverse, those that are well versed know when I say the hawk is flying, they know exactly what.
Oh, so you say this a lot. You're known for...
No, not a lot. You can only really say it. You say it once or twice a year, then you sort of shelve it.
You know? Okay, so the hawk is coming. The hawk is flying.
Hawk is flying. So just you should, in your spare time, you should look that up. Number one. Number two, apparently, from what all the weather men and women say, and that's the world, we're gonna get more snow tomorrow into Thursday than we got all of last year, which is just remarkable on a number of different levels.
We have not had a winter, and thank God last winter, at least from March on, we didn't have much. But the question is, man, you sound like that this is fact, that you're taking that to the bank. I mean, look, I realize that Irv Jakovsky has been slinging meteorology. Mr. G's been, he's been a vital part of the weather landscape for probably he's into his sixth decade. But I mean, the fact that I could rattle off probably 6 weathermen, I don't know why. But we got Frank Field, we got Storm Field. I think there's, you name it, there are men and women out there that have really helped
Janice
helped
Huff
get us through difficult times. Lonnie Quinn, man, he's game ready, man. Like during a snowstorm, these guys have their sleeves rolled up. It's like who's the guy from NBC with the khakis? Karnacki. I mean, but for weathermen, I mean, it's big time. It's exciting.
And this is they live for the nor'easters, and they're getting one tomorrow. So what also is funny, and our dear friend Al Dukes, who's a big fan of Fast Money and Commercial Break, tweeted something out today that, why do people run out and buy shovels like they? I mean, isn't one like I've had a shovel for literally 30 years. I mean, it still seems to work. Not a lot has changed on the technology front in terms of shovels.
No, I would agree with that. I know where the shovel is in my drive. And why also suddenly is it that next year you think you need the snow blower and the snow thrower, whatever you're calling it? Because I got through, and let's be clear, I believe the rough main streets of Croton on the Hudson, you kids, to make a little extra cigarette money, would go walking around and probably shoveling people's paths and driveways on a big day. You sniffed money during those times.
Of course we did. And the genius of that was, first of all, unfortunately for us, I don't think you could buy a snowblower at the local hardware store. And even if you could, you'd spend more in gas than you'd make snow blowing the driveways. Yeah. But what we used to do is we used to go shovel the driveway without asking, and then we'd go knocking on the door. And you
Interesting.
can understand.
Now, you know what that is total bullshit. And how about the old lady that just you basically thugged her into,
No. If it was an old, we weren't looking to knock over the old lady. But if it was a young couple or something,
he'd look to knock them over. I mean,
absolutely.
come on, dude. And by the way, I'm just guessing, but I bet you were one of those guys that put on his weightlifting belt when he was shoveling snow. No, just to protect the lower back. Not. Because again, they say you got to lift with your legs, right?
I had those. What do they call those boots? The brown boot. What I can't.
Timberlands, man. Timberlands.
Tims. We had the Tims. Dude, you didn't lace. My daughter yelled.
Well, you didn't lace them up, so it got
we didn't lace them up
there.
Jeans. Maybe if you were like hardcore. You didn't wear a scarf or something, never a hat. And, you had some gloves, and off you went and did your thing. You could make a few bucks shoveling snow back in the day.
Dude, and you earned every penny. And I'd go out with my brothers, and it's amazing how my older brother, Mike, he made sure he made the distributions. I never felt like I got my cut, but I'll take that up with him at another time. Speaking of storms, man, I mean, what's been going on in the cannabis space is there's been a lot of consolidation in the U.S. There's rumors of one of the bigger players that we've had on the show. I won't mention names, but the excitement around this industry, the announcement after the bell is at least Tilray and Aphria are going to merge, and these are two of the bigger players in Canada. Although Tilray is how the mighty have fallen. Aphria which is I think the best operator in Canada, is I think in a great position to be not only taking more leadership in Canada, but I think they're actually looking at the U.S. and I think that's part of the trade here. But the hysteria and again, it's a blizzard, if I may, of opportunity in cannabis right now.
You think about Tilray, and you know this a lot better than I do, but I mean, what was the market cap of that company at its zenith a couple of years ago, and now where is it? I mean, I think it was either side of $1 billion today. It's obviously more than that now in the after hours.
Well, I'm gonna say got somewhere absolutely north of 20 billion. I want to say on the blow off top somewhere, 256 a share or so. It was close to a $25 billion company on one of the most epic short squeezes of all time, because rightly, there were plenty of smart money guys in there saying there's no way the valuation on this company, which barely has any sales, but has announced it's got this global platform and has done some partnerships, and they're really more like JV understandings, MOUs, with people like Anheuser-Busch and Manitoba and Novartis, and again, I need to be clear. I think the Tilray guys were very strategic in getting out there early and building the platform they did, and the value kind of figures itself out. The capital markets dynamics have as much to do with what happened with Tilray as anything, which is that they could list here. They were the first U.S. NASDAQ listed cannabis company, and that's what created a lot of this hysteria. And in that sense, what I get asked all the time is the whole Canada-US dynamic. Why is it? And people get really upset about the Canadian operators. And I have to say, it's not really their fault. I mean, it's just it's the capital markets' fault that you can't invest in U.S. companies in a federally legal environment in the United States, even though the states are legalizing on a U.S. exchange that's governed by a federal environment. So they go to Canada and they list on less liquid, arguably less transparent exchanges, whereas the Canadian guys came here. But it's a fascinating time. There will be more and more consolidation in this sector, and I think for investors, ultimately, it's a good thing.
In my younger days, if I was at a bar and you're sort of trying to size up, who's going to kick your ass or vice versa, if I know some dude is from Manitoba or Moose Jaw, I ain't dropping with him, man. I'm just saying. I mean, that's one of those places you hear Manitoba, you run. Yeah,
well, for sure, and I think this is probably a good way to go out. One of the things they say about cannabis versus being in a bar, and look, I'm a nice guy, but somehow there were moments growing up in a bar where it brings out the worst in you, and you have a few too many, and one thing leads to another. But again, so the old adage, when five guys drink too much, they start a fight. And in cannabis, when five guys smoke too much, they start a band. On that note, Guy Adami, be safe in the storm, man, and wear your rubbers out there over your Timberlands.
I will do that. Good luck with band practice tonight. I'll see you later.
Thank you.